We wish you a cordial and friendly welcome to this night, which is a very special one, in which we shall celebrate Pesach. Today is the 14th of Aviv of the year 5993. 5900, I hope it's correct. Oh, I wish it was the 97th. 5993. This corresponds to, what day is it today in May? April 23rd. Okay, or a bit ahead. April 23rd of the year 2024. And we are here all together in order to initiate the celebration of Pesach. No one's missing here. Pesach is a very special feast. We're all very happy that everyone has arrived. And it's a very, very happy environment. Let's see what the Torah says. Exodus 12:11 through 14. I'll read from the Spanish DHH. It reads as follows. Be fully dressed, wear your sandals and carry your walking stick in your hand. Eat the meal with urgency, for this is Pesach of Yahweh. On that night I will pass through the land of Egypt and strike down every firstborn son and firstborn male animal in the land of Egypt. I will execute judgment against all the gods of Egypt. I love that phrase, the one that I highlight the most. I shall execute judgment against all the gods of Egypt. In other words, Yahweh executed judgment on a 14th of Aviv when they went out of Egypt, and which indicates that it is very, even if it's something circumstantial, it is rather vital. This date is where he executes judgments against the false gods, in this case of Babylon. I, Yahweh, have said it. But the blood on your doorposts will serve as a sign, making the houses where you are staying. When I see the blood, I will pass over you. I will pass over you. Pesach, or Pesach, or Pesach. That Pesach means I will pass over you. This is a day in which you shall remember and celebrate with a great feast in the honor of Yahweh. You shall celebrate it as a permanent law which will go from generation to generation. Then afterwards in the prophecy, we see a very important and vital action for all human beings in this creation that I would make. It's in Daniel 9:24, which is precisely on the day of Pesach, which is fulfilled. 70 days are determined over your people and over your holy city to put an end to their sin and to atone for their guilt and to bring in everlasting righteousness, to confirm the prophetic vision and to anoint the most holy place. In other words, precisely all these things took place and were done almost 2,000 years ago, approximately. It is interesting that all this took place during Pesach, the end of the guilt, to put atonement of iniquity and to bring everlasting righteousness. That everlasting righteousness, in one way or another, was starting to be brought when Yahweh made into Yeshua started to pardon that. But actually, that everlasting righteousness has yet to happen. That's why it is a job of the Messiah. And this takes place during a night of Pesach to seal the vision with which the vision is finalized. It is concluded and fulfilled. The prophecy and the vision, when does it say that? During a Pesach. And to anoint the most holy. To anoint the most holy, in this case, could be the representation of the Mashiach. The most holy is anointed during Pesach. All those things are important. That's why we are gathered together here, and we are continuing to celebrate this so vital a feast and the most important one of them all. When John saw it, the baptizer, he said as follows in John 1:29. The next day, John seeth Jesus coming unto him and saith, Behold the Lamb, during Pesach, which taketh away the sin of the world. And when did he take away the sin of the world? During a Pesach. Now let us pass on to the washing of the feet, which is in John 13. 2 to 3, which I'll read. John 13, 2 through 20, pardon me. John 13, 2 through 20, and I'll read in the New Living Translation, which reads as follows. It was time for supper, and the devil, we already know who the devil is. He is the spirit of Yahweh, which incites people to do things, had already prompted Judas, son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus in the form in which Yahweh makes things to work out. Yeshua knew that the Father had given him authority over everything and that he had come from God and would return to God. That is what it says, is that Yeshua knew because he was Yahweh, and that he had come from being Yahweh and he was going to go back to being Yahweh. That is what the text says. If I were to take off the cover. So he got up from the table, took off his robe, wrapped a towel around his waist, and poured water into a basin. Then he began to wash the disciples' feet, drying them with the towel he had around him. When he came close to Simon Peter, he said to him, Lord, are you going to wash my feet? Yeshua replied, you don't understand now what I am doing, but not that and not anything else. Not the rest of the disciples either. Now you don't understand what I'm doing, but someday you will. No, Peter protested. You will never, ever wash my feet. If I don't wash you, Yeshua replied, you won't belong to me. Then wash me also my hands and head also, Lord, not just my feet. He exclaimed. Yeshua replied, a person who has bathed all over does not need to wash except for the feet to be entirely clean. And you, disciples, are clean, but not all of you. For Yeshua knew who would betray him. That is what he was referring to, not are all clean. After washing their feet, he put on his robe again and sat down. Again said, do you understand what I'm doing? You call me teacher and Lord. And you're right, because that's what I am. And since I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you ought to wash each other's feet. I have given you my example to follow. Do as I have done to you. I'll tell you the truth. Slaves are not greater than their master, nor is the messenger more important than the one who sends the message. Now that you know these things, God will bless you for doing them. I am not saying these things to all of you. I know the ones I have chosen. But this fulfills the scriptures that says, the one who eats my food has turned against me. I tell you this before him, so that when it happens, you will believe that I am. I tell you the truth. Anyone who welcomes my messenger is welcoming me. And anyone who welcomes me is welcoming the Father who sent me. Without any further ado, following this example, what was said by Yeshua, let us now wash our feet. Very well. We are done with the foot washing rite, which was instituted by Yahweh when he was down here in a human body and made himself be called Yeshua. And now we shall do the second part, and I'll read Matthew 26:26. As they were eating, Yeshua took some bread and blessed it. Then he broke it in pieces and gave it to his disciples, saying, take this and eat. This is my body. Without any further ado, let us do the same. But first of all, let us have a word of prayer to bless this. Beloved Yahweh, we give you thanks for allowing us to celebrate Pesakh. Thank you for teaching us how is the rite which you have instituted, this new covenant, and also the confirmation of the previous one, so that your children be saved, and also that the entire human race be saved. Bless this unleavened bread, this matzah, and that it may be a blessing to each and every one of those who take it. I thank you for all this. Thank you for giving us the victory, for coming to earth and becoming human and giving your life for us. All this we thank you for in your precious name, YHWH. Hallelujah. I shall break all the bread, and you can each grab a piece. Yeshua said, "This is my body that for you is broken, so then let us now participate." And taking the cup, and having given thanks, said, saying, "Each of you drink from it, for this is my blood, which confirms the new covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins. And I say unto you, I will not drink wine again until the day I drink it new with you in the kingdom of my Father." Thank you, Yahweh. We give thee for this opportunity of being able to drink your blood which gives us life, your blood which is a necessary requirement in order to obtain salvation. This represents your blood. We accept your sacrifice to free us from sin, to cleanse us, and also to achieve eternal life. All this we thank you for in your precious name, Yahweh Sabaoth. Alleluia. Drink the blood of Yeshua HaMashiach, which is Yahweh as a man. With this, we have ended the rite, and we shall move on to celebrate the food and the dinner of Pesach, and we'll eat some delicious noodles with a sauce we made. So then let us wrap up this rite with a word prayer. Thank you, Yahweh. We give thee for this so precious an opportunity of being able to celebrate this day, the most solemn one of them all, the day in which you have given your life, eliminating all the condemnation that was weighing upon the human race. Thank you for being a divine being, being God, seeing Elohim, all powerful. You took on a human body, you became flesh, you became one of us, and you gave your life. We give you thanks because you have taught us that very soon it is the time of the Messiah, the kingdom of the Messiah, and this feast is the feast of the Mashiach, a feast which you have instituted to enjoy it, you as well as the Mashiach. All this we thank you for. Take all these symbols we have made, we have done as exactly what you did with your disciples, and we're repeating it today in every home in which it is taking place right now with this same knowledge. Bless all your children on this flat earth. Bless all your children on this special night of Pesach who have celebrated this so marvelous rite, and that your hand of blessing be upon every one of their homes. I ask you that very soon you give everything which you have promised to the Mashiach, to give him his territory, to give him his power, glory in the kingdom, because it is determined, because it is prophesied, and because the time is arriving. All this we thank you for in your precious name, Yahweh Sabaoth. Alleluia. Now to celebrate Pesach. An applause.